Hi everybody, welcome to the astrology chat for July 18th, 2024. So the keys for not just today, but pretty much till the end of August are to really commit to the use of retrograde energy for your immediate and long-term healing. And I say this because we have the moon in Sagittarius today, and the moon in Sagittarius is pretty busy today of meeting with the retrograde planets. So when the moon is in Sagittarius, this is about our high mind philosophy and law. This is the house of IC. This is that long vision horizon, eye on the horizon, your hands on the ship, and you are going forward into the map of the sea to achieve your treasures and acquire new lands, but not in the sense of colonizing, but in the sense of integrating understanding and creating a collaborative environment with where you are now and who you are sailing towards in your future. Now, this moon in Sagittarius is making a semi-square with Pluto retrograde and a square with Saturn retrograde. And this is a very interesting energy because this is the moon in Sagittarius meeting with these deep planets saying, okay, what about the long term now? Right? What are you working on? What are you focusing on? What are you understanding? What is coming up? What are you releasing? What is that foundational work you're doing that guides your compass of life, of what motivates you, right? If you're coming from a place of lack, if you're coming from a place of fear, if you're coming from a place of being disconnected from the divine, then you're not really steering anywhere. You're just at the mercies of the winds of various energies and reactions and experiences. Like, if you are grounded in the divine, if you're connected to God, then you're going to be connecting with that map. And the divine is talking to all of us in a very serious way about what we are committed to, about where we're going and what we're doing and why we're doing it, and who's on your ship. Why are you on this ship? Do you need your own ship? There's a lot of very deep questions that need to be answered here. And this is coming on the beginning of the Mercury retrograde shadow that started yesterday, and pretty much effectively you can treat the rest of the summer as though it's in a Mercury retrograde. Okay, we're in the shadow period now. The Mercury retrograde will begin on the 5th, and we won't pass through the shadow, I think, till the 27th, somewhere around there. So there's this long period of review on top of the fact that we have the second full moon in Capricorn happening on Sunday at the critical degrees of 29. That's saying, okay, it's time to call it. What are you doing? Right? And so that's why there's this very deep energy to the day, and it can be heavy if you are leaning on your own understanding. This is where it's going to be really important to connect to divine, to connect with your higher self, to connect with the Holy Spirit, to really pray and to move in a way that is God focused, because where you are right now is not the end, and you have to look into the horizon. You know, my mentor always says you have to look at the finishing of what you're doing. You have to look at the horizon. You have to remember why you're doing the things that you're doing, especially when it's hard. And honeys, it's going to get a little bit rough. You know, I don't mince words, and that's just how it is. We also have a trine of Mercury and a very compatible meeting with Chiron. So we want to talk. You want to talk to the divine. You want to have these conversations with yourself. You want to focus on your healing. Like, your heart healing is calling you. Now, we do have a sexy square with Venus, and this is where there's that challenging about like what you're loving and how you're loving it, and particularly where you're outsourcing your love, right? Again, when you're having this centering and recentering with the divine and this energy of the retrograde, you can disconnect from a lot of things just are no longer serving you, that no longer work, that are just dead, and you just need to let them go and redesign your goals and your map and your plan. We also have a tense energy with Uranus, so there's a lot of surprising. There's a sense of agitation in the air. We also then have the sun sextiling Uranus. So if you go for the leap, if you let yourself get a little unconventional, you can have a lot of growth. We also have a square with the sun squaring Jupiter, and so you do have to be aware of going overboard. There's a balance of dreaming big and also having the wisdom of knowing when to hold back or when to let go. And then we also have Mercury in tension with Chiron, and we're trying with Chiron. So if you do all of these conversations, if you do all this work, you're going to recenter yourself. Don't be afraid to make a new map. Don't be afraid to embrace a new compass. Don't be afraid to leave your old self behind and go towards what divine has planned for you. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.